Yeah, good morning, guys. So today I'll give you a quick recap on the demo session what we had yesterday, and we'll continue with new topics. In our first demo class, we discussed about ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. What is Enterprise Resource Planning? So Enterprise Resource Planning is used to run the business, right? Enterprise Resource Planning is used to run the business functionalities. It provides better integration between different departments. Okay, it provides different integration between different departments. It will improve the performance of the business and reduce the delays in decision making and reduce the delays in communication. Okay, which helps to improve the business efficiency, right? It also avoids any manual work. It doesn't need any manual process. Okay, so that it can reduce human errors, right? That's about ERP. There are many ERP products in software market. What is the what are the different ERP products available? So SAP, they developed SAP ERP. Oracle, they have some Oracle applications. I think now they are moved into Oracle Cloud Fusion or something, right? Microsoft has their own ERP applications like Microsoft Dynamics. Okay, and different companies develop their own ERP products. But what is the most successful ERP product? SAP is the most successful ERP product. Okay, because of its proven track record, right? And the complex solutions provided to run the business process, right? So SAP provided all standard solutions. They analyzed a lot of business functionalities, right? The most common business functionalities happening in any business, and they designed the applications to meet those requirements so that customer doesn't need to develop it from the beginning. They can start using it when they purchase the license. That is why what we call this SAP, is it a software or product? Is it a programming or product?
Product.
It's a product because it contains standard solutions, ready to use solutions to meet the business requirements, to run the business, right? So SAP is one of the ERP product, most successful ERP product. Okay. Now, what is the programming language that we use in SAP ERP to develop any applications? What is the programming language we use?
SAP ABAP.
ABAP.
Yeah, we call it as ABAP, SAP ABAP, Advanced Business Application Programming Language, and it is a fourth generation programming language. ABAP is a fourth generation programming language. It comes under high level languages. Okay, it comes under high level languages. It's a fourth generation programming language. Okay, it is used to enhance the standard applications of SAP or to create complete custom applications. Okay, to create complete custom applications. Now tell me, what is the difference between enhancement and modification?
Enhance means to add the additional features without disturbing
It adds additional functionality without disturbing the standard applications. Modification, we are changing the standard functionalities to meet our business requirements. Here we are changing the standard functionalities provided by SAP. Okay. So as a ABAP consultant, what is your role in the project? work with functional consultants to gather the requirements and create the applications or enhance the standard applications, and do unit testing, a basic testing. You are not going to do the complete testing, a basic testing you are going to do. What do we call that testing?
Checking the functionality.
Technical unit testing. Okay, we call it as technical unit testing. After development, as a developer, after development you are going to do some basic testing of your application, whether it is working or not. So what do you call that testing? Technical unit testing. Okay, technical unit testing, in short we can call it as TUT. Okay, it is common in any project, in any development project, not specific to SAP technology. Technical unit testing is common in any software development. Developer will do that basic testing. Okay, once the testing unit testing is completed, after code review is completed, we move that to test systems, right? Where testing team, the actual testing team will test the different scenarios like positive scenarios, negative scenarios to make sure the application is working as expected. Okay. Yesterday we have taken one example of car manufacturing by Tata Cars, right? Where they need production department, sales department, finance department, purchasing department, and HR department, and quality management department, where all these departments work together to complete the manufacturing process to sales process, right? So every department has to integrate with the other department to make complete the manufacturing process efficiently, right? So to manufacture any product, what do we need?
Yeah, raw material.
We need raw material to manufacture any product.
Yes.
So where we are going to purchase the raw material, where that organization is going to purchase the raw material? From vendors, external vendors who supply raw materials, right? For that, what they create, what is the document they create? One important document, that is purchase order. To purchase something, purchasing department will create
Yes.
a purchase order. It is common in anywhere, not only, I'm not talking about in I'm not talking in the SAP terminology. This process is common in any business. Okay, to purchase something, they create the purchase order, and the delivery will happen, and next invoice process will happen. Okay,
Yes.
after manufacturing of the cars, who needs to sell the cars? Sorry. Sales department, right?
Yes.
Sales department interact with the customers, they do campaigns, interact with the customers. What is the important document they create? What is the important record they create when they are trying to sell any product? Sales order. Okay, sales order. After sales order, what will happen? After sales order, purchase is completed. Next, what is the next step? We need to deliver product to the customer. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
I'll tell you a simple example. Just I want to make sure you follow the business process so that it is easy for you to understand SAP applications. Many of you might have ordered in online platforms like Flipkart and Amazon. As a customer, what you do? You go to the catalog and you choose one product and you place order, right? What will happen in the background when you place the order? One sales order will be created in their Amazon system. Who is the customer? What are the items he ordered? What is the quantity of the order? And what is the expected delivery date? A sales order will be generated in Amazon or Flipkart systems. After sales order, what is the next process? What will happen after you place the order?
Production.
If that product is not available, they'll communicate to the production department. They'll manufacture the goods and they make it available for the sales department. That is sub task.
Okay.
Let's say product is available. What is the next step?
Yeah, delivery.
Delivery. Next step is the delivery.
Invoice.
Okay, delivery to the
Yes.
customer. And after that you receive, what do you receive after delivery?
Invoice.
Invoice. Bill will be received. You can download
Yes.
invoice in your Flipkart orders or Amazon orders, right? That is the process, business process. So in SAP they developed applications to run this process. Okay, to run this real world process. That's it. Okay, so delivery is two types. Just try to understand. When company send goods to the customer, what type of delivery we call it as? Outbound delivery. We are sending out to the customer. But when organization receive raw material from the vendors after purchase order, what type of delivery it is?
Inbound.
Inbound delivery. We call it as inbound delivery because organization is receiving the raw material into their warehouse. That we call as inbound delivery. If organization is sending product to the customer, we call it as outbound delivery. After picking confirmation, goods receipt, there are different types of process. We'll see in the further sessions. Okay, so is everyone clear about SAP ERP, and the basic flow?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, we gone through OLTP and OLAP. What is OLTP? Online transaction processing system, right? What is online transaction processing system? Any
Keep.
software system
Yes.
which is used to create
Auto.
daily transactions, right? Which is used to create daily transactions. It will create a
Yes.
transaction. It can update the transaction. We call such systems as OLTP systems. Okay. Can you tell me a few examples for OLTP systems in the real world?
Um, Mart.
Any shopping mall billing counter system,
Customer.
they generate the transactions using OLTP system. What kind
Yes.
of applications they use? They use OLTP applications, right? To create the
Right.
transaction. They scan your items, then they create the transaction. They provide you the bill, right? Banking applications where banking clerk use for withdrawals and deposits. That is also kind of OLTP system. ATM. Whenever you withdraw something, it will create a transaction. That is also kind of OLTP system, right?
Yeah.
These are few examples for OLTP systems. And SAP ERP is also kind of OLTP system where it runs the business and create the transactions daily. So what is the main thing we do in OLTP system? We keep only operational data in OLTP systems. What kind of data we keep in the OLTP systems?
Operational data.
Operational data.
Operational data. What do you mean by operational data? That is most recent data which is useful for the business, right? Most recent data which is useful for the business. What about the years ago data, like previous year's data, maybe last 10
Yeah.
years data? What will happen to that data?
Historical data.
What happens to the historical data in OLTP systems? We are saying we are going to keep only operational data in OLTP system. What will happen to the historical data then? The data which is
People
created 10 years ago.
OLAP.
They archive it. They archive it or they delete it. They do some backups. They archive the data. That means they remove from the OLTP system. Okay, they keep only maybe last 2 years data or last 3 years data in the OLTP system. Why they do so? Because if you try to keep years old data, it will occupy a lot of space in the system, right? Lot of
Right. Right.
memory in the database. It will reduce the performance of the OLTP system. That is the first thing. and you don't need that data anymore. Last 10 years data, you are not using it for your business, right? It's not at all helping your business. There is no point in keeping that data in your system, right? That's why they archive it.
Yes.
They take some backups and delete the data from OLTP systems, right? And where
Yes.
they keep this historical data
In OLIP.
in
In
OLAP
OLAP.
systems. Every day after business hours, they load data to OLAP systems. Okay, OLAP systems. What is the use of OLAP system? For data analysis, to analyze the data, to generate the reports. Okay, what is the purpose
Yes.
of this? For decision making. For decision making, so that management can make the decisions to manufacture something or to reduce the manufacture of a specific product or to discontinue a specific product, to understand the customer requirements, right? To
Yes.
understand what are the requirements of the young age people, right? What they are interested in, what kind of products they are interested in, so that they can target those customers
Yes.
and provide specific offers and do more sales, right? If they know what is their exact requirement. So for that purpose, they use OLAP systems. Okay.
Yes.
In OLAP systems, we keep historical data. Okay, we keep historical data. Here we are not going to create any data. We are not going to create any transactions in OLAP system. We just move or copy transactions from OLTP to OLAP. We are not going to create any new transactions, or we are not going to change any transactional data here, right?
Yes, sir.
For example,
So,
to understand state-wise revenue or to understand store-wise revenue. For example, DMart CEO is reviewing their business, sitting some in Mumbai head office. What he is interested in? He is interested in store-wise business or region-wise business. How can he know the region-wise sales? Every
yeah, by
day,
using the,
every DMart store transactions will be moved to OLAP system, and they generate reports on top of those historical data. They use region as a key criteria. So it will aggregate or summarize all the transactions created in that region from different stores. What they do, they sum up that value, all the transactions value created in that particular region, and they generate one final amount by region, so that they can understand what is the region performing well, what is the region they need to concentrate to improve the sales, right? Next level manager, they might generate the reports by store wise, right? They want to see store wise reports, so that that next level manager focus on individual stores to understand where it is failing or to understand what they need to improve. Okay, is everyone clear about OLAP and OLTP?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So every company, every software company, they provide different applications for OLTP and OLAP. If you take SAP, we have SAP ERP as OLTP and SAP BW, Business Warehouse, as OLAP system for data warehousing. In Microsoft, they have Microsoft Dynamics as OLTP and MSBI, Microsoft Business Intelligence, as OLAP system. They do the same process. They do ETL. They transfer data from OLAP to OLAP. The process is same. Okay, only different companies develop different tools. Okay, what is the current version of SAP? Customers are using SAP S4 HANA. Okay, SAP S4 HANA. I'll explain in detail when we start the technical sessions. I'll explain in detail about SAP S4 HANA and previous version, old version SAP ECC. I'll give you a quick thing here. So SAP ECC, they're designed to run on any database. Okay, they're designed it to run on any database system like Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, DB2, right? Any database independent. ECC is a database independent. It can run on any database. That is customer choice. What is the database they want to use? What about S4 HANA?
It
Yes,
takes
for
access
HANA,
only
it is
SAP
designed
application.
to run only on HANA database. SAP designed this HANA database. Okay, SAP itself designed its own HANA database. So SAP S4 HANA is designed to run only on HANA database. Is it advantage or disadvantage? SAP ECC can run on any database, but SAP S4 HANA it's going to run on only HANA database. Is it advantage or disadvantage of S4 HANA?
Advantage only.
Mm. It is running only on S4, only on HANA. That doesn't mean that it is not better than ECC, right? They simplified, they improved performance of the SAP ERP by using HANA database. Okay, it improved the program executions, application executions. Okay, everything. It's completely improved the SAP ERP by using HANA database. Even though SAP ECC is supporting multiple databases, it can run on any database, but applications are slow because the applications are designed to support any database. Then there should be some limitations, right? To support everything, right? They need to compromise few things like performance, like they need to create complex applications, right? There is some compromise here to support every database, right? So that's why SAP come up with their own database, HANA database, and they designed the SAP ERP to run only on HANA database. The main feature of HANA database is it's a in-memory database. What kind of database it is? HANA is a in-memory database. What do you call by in-memory? It stores data in the RAM level. In general, any if you take any database, where it's going to store the data? Hard disk, right?
Database.
In the database hard disk. But here, S4 HANA stores the data in RAM. Accessing data from hard disk, right, is not faster than accessing data from RAM. Accessing data from RAM is way faster, maybe 1,000 times faster than accessing data from database, hard disk. That's why what do we call this RAM? Primary memory, right? We call RAM as primary memory, random access memory. The accessing data from RAM is very faster. Okay, depends on your RAM size, your application performance will be faster. Okay, that is key feature of the HANA database. Anyway, we'll discuss that later in detail. We also discussed about different functional modules in SAP like sales and distribution, material management, finance and controlling, plant maintenance, production planning, warehouse management. There are more modules. But in S4 HANA, we are calling it with some different technology terminology, like that is O2C, order to cash, P2P, procure to pay. O2C comes under which module? Order to cash, customer order to receiving cash, sales process, right? P2P means procure to pay, buying raw materials to paying the vendors. That is this flow. Comes under which module? MM, right? Procurement module, MM, right? Like that, we use R to R, record to report, right? Terminology is different, but functional solutions are same. Okay, in S4 HANA, we use different terminology to address these functional domains. Okay, is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
And yesterday we seen what are the different versions available? S4 HANA versions. S4 HANA is available in the cloud environment and on-premise. So what is the difference between cloud and on-premise? What is the difference
Yeah,
between cloud and on-premise?
yeah, cloud means we can fetch that information or anything from anywhere, sir.
Hmm.
On premises means only a single computer we
Yes.
have to. Yes.
I think on-premise have so many access in our system.
Hmm. So cloud is
Like,
subscription based. So cloud will be maintained by some cloud system provider. Any maintenance like upgrades, any support pack upgrades or any additional upgrades, who will maintain that? Organization, no, they don't need to worry about any system maintenance. Who will maintain the system? Cloud provider will take care of
Yeah.
maintaining the systems. What is the limitation in cloud? Limited customization. It won't allow you to create or create as many as custom applications. It won't allow you to enhance the standard applications as your wish. There is very limited scope of customization and enhancements in cloud environment. Okay, is everyone clear?
yes, sir.
Do you know why? Usually, what will happen? Cloud provider use one software application, right? And they can let different customers use that same environment. But they partition data, but the applications might be same. Okay, in that case, if they allow many customizations and enhancements, right, the business functionality of the other customers may impact. That's why in cloud environment they allow only limited customizations. Who goes for the cloud environment? Any organization who don't want to take overhead of system maintenance, right? They just want very flexible environment to access the ERP, right? Such kind of customers go for cloud environment, right? So that they don't need to maintain huge infrastructure in their organization. Someone will take care of it just by subscription for like per user. They'll provide some license cost and they can start using it. Okay, that is the flexibility of cloud environment, but limited customization allowed. Okay, what about on premise? It has to maintain by the organization itself, right? So customizations are flexible. It depends on your business requirement. You can customize your applications on your own. Okay. Any upgrades, any system maintenance, who need to take care of it?
Company itself.
Yeah. But when you are using on-premise, right, you have total control on your data. If you think about data security, right, you have total control on your data. But if you go for cloud, some third-party cloud vendor is going to maintain that system, right? Right? You may not have a complete control on your data. Okay, if you go for cloud environment, that is the uh, difference, right? Applications are same, but the environment is different. Depends on their business requirement. Few customers go for the cloud, and other customers prefer on premise. Okay,
Yeah.
Next, we'll discuss about one important concept called master data and transactional data. And again, this is not only specific to SAP, this is a general topic. What is master data? In general terms, what do we call as master data?
Yeah, I think it has so many duplicates data like that, sir. I
What
guess
about transactional data?
it is filtered data, sir, which is stored in database OLAP.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Master
Okay.
data is the metadata.
Hmm. No, no,
Like
not
this.
matter. Not. The data which changes very rare. Such kind of data, what do we call? Master data. So the data which changes very frequently. What do we call that data?
Transactional data.
Yeah,
Transactional
got it,
data.
sir.
I'll give you a quick example, very easy example for you. How many of you have bank accounts? Most of you might have bank accounts, right? When you first try to open any account, what they ask for?
ID proof,
What is the information you are providing in the form of ID proof? Your name,
name and address
your
along with the
address, your
contact
phone
number.
number, your email ID, right? All
Right.
these details you are providing, right? Your Aadhaar number, your PAN number,
Yes, sir.
so that they'll create account, a customer master record in their bank terms. What they are going to create? A customer master record,
Yes,
right?
sir. Got it.
They'll generate one customer ID and they'll assign all your customer details like name, address, phone number, email, everything to that customer master record. Are you going to change your name very frequently?
No.
No.
No,
No.
right? Are you going to change your address monthly? No, right? But in very
No.
rare conditions, rare
Yes.
situations, right? So the data which is fixed or which is which changes very rarely, such kind of data we call as master data. For example, take vendor master data. Company will maintain vendors master data. What does that vendor master data contains? That vendor master data record contains vendor number, vendor name, vendor address, right? Vendor contact details. All these are vendor master data. If you take customer master data, any any store or any shopping mall, they maintain customer master data. They maintain customer ID, customer name, customer phone number, right? All these details. This is called master data, which changes very rarely. Now talk about transactional data. When this transactional data will be created, your account number is created in the bank, and you wanted to do some deposit, cash deposit. What they are going to create in the system? They're going to create one transaction, deposit transaction in the system. It will change your available balance and it will reflect in your statement. So, what do we call that record? Transaction record. After 1 hour, you withdraw something. You withdraw something. Then another transaction will be created. It will change the existing total amount, available balance. It will update it. Yes or no? Again, next day you deposit. Again, it will update the available balance, create one more transaction. Right? So it will create number of transactions and it will update the data in the system very frequently. So those kind of data, what do we call?
Transactional data.
Transactional data. Can we create transaction data without master data?
No.
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 There should be a master record to create the transactional data, because for whom you are creating this transaction? Who is that customer ID? Right? You need to link, right? To link that, there should be a master data record. By using that master data customer ID, they generate the transactions. Right? That is why first we need to maintain the master data in the system, and then only we can create the transactions. Okay, this is not common to SAP anywhere. Okay, in SAP also we use this concept master data and transactional data. We discussed about sales orders, purchase orders, and all these, right? Those are the examples for transactional record. Sales order is one transactional record. Purchase order is one transactional record. They are going to be maintained in transactional tables. So in SAP we have master tables and transactional tables. In the master tables we maintain master data, and in transactional tables we maintain transactional data. Okay, that is the reason we discussed about ETL process, right? Moving data from OLTP to OLAP. What type of data we need to move first? For example, today after business hours, what type of data we need to move first? Is it transactional data or master data?
Master data.
First,
Master
we
data.
need to move master data created today. Any new customers created today. First, we need to load it. Then, we need to load the transactions created today. Because if you try to load the transactions without master data, transaction load will be failed because it cannot find that reference ID for that customer in OLAP system, right? It cannot find that master data. Okay, is everyone clear on this? Master data and transactional data. You can apply to master table and transactional table. Master table maintains master data. Transactional table maintains transactional data. It's important interview question too. Okay, so master data changes rarely. Transactional data changes frequently. If you want to give some examples for master data, you can give tables for customer master data, vendors master data, material master data, right? All these things, plants master data, right?
Okay.
And very important thing I'll explain now. Architecture of SAP ERP. What is the architecture? System architecture. So the SAP ERP architecture is designed into three different layers. Three different layers. They're not going to keep all of them in a single system. They divided system into three different layers. What are those three different layers? Database layer, application
Yes.
layer, and this is a presentation layer. It is common in other products also, not only SAP. Okay, database layer, application layer, and presentation layer. So I'll give you a simple example before going to discuss about SAP. How many of you access Gmail?
We also.
Most of you have access Gmail, right? So how you are going to access Gmail? Are you going to the server of Gmail? Are you going to the server page of Gmail somewhere in USA, right?
No, sir.
And log in. You
First we need
just
to.
open a browser. You just open a browser, provide a URL, gmail.com, and enter the user ID password. Are you maintaining any server in the system to access that page? No, right? You are just accessing through a screen. What do we call that screen? Presentation layer where users can access the system using this presentation layer. So the Gmail provided a login screen with a URL to access the Gmails or their emails. They're not going to install any servers, they're not going to install any programs in your system. They just provide you a presentation layer. We can also call GUI, graphical user interface, right, to access your Gmails, right? For example, yeah, you accessed your Gmail using presentation layer, and when you click on create email, so what will happen? And you compose your email and send it. What will happen? The email will be received for the recipient, right? Whoever you mentioned in the to address. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
How
Yes.
that process is happening? There should be a program, right, to do that, to execute all this process. There should be a program available to execute this process, starting from your login. For example, if you enter wrong password, what will happen? What it shows in the screen? What it will show you in the screen if you enter a
Error,
wrong
sir.
password?
Error.
It will show error, right? Who is validating that? Who is validating that?
Database layer.
No, a program.
Application layer.
There should be an application program which takes your input and verify it in the database table whether the provided information is available in database table or not, corresponding database table or not. If the information is available, it allow you to log in. If that password is not available in the database table, what it will return? A error message. That will be take care by a program, application program, right? And when you click on create a email, it will display a screen and allow you to enter the data, right? And it will send the email to receiver, right? Who's doing that process? A program will do that. A application program will do that entire process, right?
Okay.
Where these programs will be maintained? Is it in your system?
No, sir.
No, right? We just have presentation layers to access the application. Where the programs are maintained? In application layer as a separate server. They maintain a separate server for application programs where all the application programs will be available. That's called application layer. So the GUI screen's presentation layer will interact, send a request to application program, and corresponding program will execute and connects with the database to access the data and provide the result in the form of response to the program, and the program will provide that output to the user screen. Okay, it
Yeah.
happens in the form of request and response. Okay. So there is
Yes,
a
sir.
separate layer for applications. If you take SAP, where they are going to maintain the programs, whatever the applications we develop in the application layer.
The application layer.
So the application layer will interact with the database layer
Database
to
layers.
insert the data in database tables or to read the data from database tables. And that program will present that output data to presentation layer screens. Okay. So in database, what can you find in a database? Tables. Data will be maintained in the form of tables in the database. Okay. There should be a separate table for each process. For example, customer master table, sales order table, purchase order table, right? Vendor master table, right? There will be thousands of tables available in the database for each to maintain different types of data. They are not going to store entire data in a single table. I'll explain normalization and denormalization in the next session. We already have some idea on DBMS concepts. They can understand why do we maintain data in multiple tables instead of maintaining in a same table. To avoid duplicates, if you try to maintain the entire data in the same table, right, it will create a lot of duplicate data. It will occupy a lot of space in your database. I'll explain that DBMS concept in next sessions. But what does this database layer contains? Just tables.
Yeah,
Data will be
yes.
stored in the form of tables. So application programs will interact with the database tables to insert the data, to create new records, or to read the data to display as a output. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Why we have three different layers? Why we are not maintaining everything in a same system? If you try to maintain presentation layer, application layer, and database layer in the same system, you cannot provide access to many users. Only whoever have access to that single system, they can access SAP. Others cannot access. That is one thing. There will be huge load on the system if you try to maintain database, application, and presentation layer on the same system. There will be huge load on the system. That's why they separated presentation layer, application layer, and database layer as different servers. One place in one location they maintain database server. Maybe in a different location they might maintain application server, right? And presentation layer, whoever have access to that GUI screen, right? All the users can access these applications. Okay, is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
So the database can be anything, any database, Oracle, HANA, DB2, MS SQL Server, or any database. If it is ECC, if it is HANA S4 HANA, it supports only HANA database. Okay, that's why what type of architecture we call SAP R3 architecture, because it contains three different layers: presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. Is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
So SAP also provide GUI screens to access the data. The corresponding application program, a simple example, when, for example, these are clerks working in a company, right? Whenever there is a new purchase, they need to create a sales order. So this clerk will create a sales order by using one screen, application screen, where they enter all the data. And when they click on save, what will happen? Corresponding sales order application program, which is an application layer, will execute and validate the data. If the data is accurate, it's going to insert the data into database table, corresponding database table. Okay.
Yeah. Sir, do
Is
we take
everyone
care of
clear?
networking,
Sorry,
networking port enabling?
I'm sorry, your voice is not clear to me.
Like, do we take care of networking as well
No, no, no,
for
no, no.
enabling our?
No, no, no. We, we don't.
Okay.
You don't need to do anything regarding networking or anything. Okay, it's already
Okay.
all this will be configured by some system admins. Okay, as a above
Okay.
developer, your role is to create applications where your applications are going to be executed in application layer. Okay,
Okay.
sometimes we generate the GUI screens as well, create database tables to store the data. Okay, this configuration, everything will be pre-delivered. If there is any issues, the system admins will take care of it. So we call them as SAP basis consultants. In SAP world, we called this system admins as SAP basis consultants. Right? Is everyone clear?
Okay.
There are few keywords and system access process. We'll continue that in the next session. Okay? Accessing the system, and how to open SAP applications, and what are the important keywords we use, right? We'll see that in the next session.
Okay, sir.
And I'll show you one more time how we use AI tools. How we use AI tools to do ABAP development, right? So SAP has also its own AI tool. We call it as SAP Business AI, right? SAP is also slowly concentrating on AI offerings, right? So now you might ask, like how we use AI tools to develop any applications. Can we develop applications without knowing SAP and without knowing ABAP by using AI tools?
Yes.
But how can you understand the program, whether the code generated by AI tool is correct or not?
No, it's not possible, sir.
It's not possible. So you need some good knowledge on SAP and ABAP so that you can give clear instructions to the AI tool and get relevant output. You need to know what you need to develop, right? So that you can ask AI tool to develop that, and you can get your desired result. That doesn't mean that it's going to give 100% code of for your application, right? It will give whatever the basic structure available. You need to develop it further. Okay, I'll give you a quick example how to generate any ABAP program using any AI tool. For example, I want to create a report. I want to create a report to analyze who's the vendor, has uh, sorry, how many orders delivered by the vendor in a particular date range. Okay, so how can you create that application? Create a report program using SAP ABAP to display the vendor orders specific year. We call it as ALV reports. So enter. So it is generated a code. It generated a program, complete source code, including data selections, joins, everything. Actually, I don't need to write anything here. If you want any additional data, you need to do it. If you want more data than what it's displayed, but usually I just need to copy and paste this, copy and paste in my SAP application to create a this program. If your project follows different naming conventions, you need to change few things here. Just naming conventions or just namings you need to change. Otherwise, it will work as it is. Or according to your project coding standards, you might do small modifications. Okay. Here I have just provided a simple instruction. You can provide more detailed instruction to the AI tool. What is the methodology you want to use? Is it procedural programming or object oriented programming? What type of report you want to use, right? Do you want to display any icons in the report? You can provide more detailed information here so that AI tool can generate relevant program. Okay, is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
So if you know
Yes, sir.
ABAP, you can make use of these AI tools to improve your efficiency, reduce your development time, right? So as I told you in the previous session, every company is focusing on AI tools. They wanted to optimize the development time by using AI tools, starting from code development to test case creation. They wanted to utilize AI tools to reduce the development time so that they can reduce project cost, right? And also many customers are asking to replace 20% of the workforce with AI tools. For example, if you give $10,000 as an estimate for one project, the customers are negotiating to make it $8,000, and rest of the 20% they are asking to replace with AI, right? That's what happening in the current software industry. So you should be familiar with AI tools. Okay, and each company is developing their own AI applications, right? For SAP development, ABAP application development, and everything. So you should be aware of some basic AI tools and how you can make use of this AI generated code in your applications. Okay, you need to think out of the box and start using these solutions. You don't need to do hard work, do smart work. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, in further sessions, we'll go through in detail about those AI tools development. I'll take a few dedicated session on that. Okay, we'll stop here and we'll take any question and answers.